Welcome to the Vishwa Shanti Darshan YouTube channel. We are about to listen to Param Pujya Sadhu Vivek Jeevandasji. Param Pujya Sadhu Vivek Jeevandasji completed his education in London. He studied biochemistry at London. In 1976, in the presence of the prominent Sadhu Maharajji, he received initiation as a monk. Jeevandasji studied Indian and Western philosophy at Swami Narayan Temple in Hyderabad.
Another example that I would like to give is that of Abdul Kalam. He has written this incident, I believe, in Ignited Minds or in Wings of Fire. He was very closely associated with Pramukh Swami. In fact, through only 7 audiences, or rather 7 meetings with Pramukh Swami, he has written a book on Pramukh Swami. It is called Transcendence. And Abdul Kalam, he writes about this incident. He says, 1978, I was the project director of Rohini SLV project. His chairman was Satish Dhawan. His guru was Satish Dhawan, a scientist. And Abdul Kalam said in 1980, the SLV Rohini project, so obviously at Sriharikota, the project was launched. It failed. There was abysmal failure. Obviously, Abdul Kalam was dejected. The press people, the media people were waiting. And they wanted an answer. What happened? Abdul Kalam was very much dejected and depressed. Satish Dhawan, his leader, he said, don't worry. I will go and attend to the media and the press people. Next year, the project, with whatever changes or whatever it was launched. It was a success. The media people were also there. Satish Dhawan says, Abdul Kalam, you go and address the press people. Abdul Kalam writes in his book, this is called true leadership. A true leader shoulders failure upon himself. And when there is success and joy, the leader, he puts the ownership of that success on his team. Abdul Kalam said, I learnt what true leadership is all about. It is very, very important. When we want credit, we all rush together. When there is failure, again we rush, but we rush out. So, see, thinking differently, I think it applies to all aspects of our life. Probably, I think every step of our life, it requires thinking differently. Whether it is success, whether it is failure, whether it is joy, whether it is misery, it is very important to think differently in our lives. With regards to health, when we get ill, we always have that feeling that we will never get up. We always feel that we will always remain sick for so many years. There was an Ayurvedic doctor in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad. Once he was talking before Pramukh Swamiji, our spiritual master, a very accomplished Ayurvedic doctor. And he said that, Swamiji, I would like to tell you that a person having a lifespan of, say, 75 years or 80 years, and the amount of illness that he faces during his life, it amounts to total amount, not more than 2.5 years. So that means more than 73, 72.5 years of your life, you're healthy. But those 2.5 years of illness, somehow, it pushes us to such an extent where we feel that, we are never going to come out of this illness. So illness, how do you come out of an illness which is very, very grave? And sometimes it is very serious. A guy called Norman Cousins, who was the editor of the Saturday Review newspaper in New York. His name was Norman Cousins. He was a very fine speaker, motivational speaker. And he has written a book called Anatomy of an Illness. Anatomy of an Illness. It so happened in 1964, he suffered an autoimmune disease where his joints and muscles, they were absolutely crippled. He was not able to do any movement at all. He was hospitalized, and he was absolutely bedridden. One day, the doctor came up to him. He was on tranquilizer and painkillers. There were many side effects of that. So one day, Norman Cousins, he asked the doctor, he said, what are my chances of surviving, coming out from this illness? The doctor point blankly, he said, less than 1 out of 500. Your chance of coming out from this illness is less than 1 out of 500. Now see, the guy was already depressed. And when, as a doctor, as a professional doctor, when he answered and he said this, obviously that guy would probably have an heart attack, an instant heart attack. But Norman Cousins, he decided, okay, fine, sir, fine, okay. Then he started backtracking as to what had brought him to this situation, to a very crippling illness. What was the cause? And then he backtracked. He found out that the stress of traveling from one place to another to address people, the stress of traveling, the stress of arranging things. The second point he arrived at was the stress of preparing for the lecture and delivering the lecture. The third was to work with incompetent people. That is also very stressful. The fourth idea that he came up with was bureaucracy, the frustration of bureaucracy. To get even one signature, so difficult. So much red tape. Bureaucracy, it is crippling. So he came up with these various ideas, and he felt, now look, this is the reason why I am hospitalized and absolutely bedridden, and I'm suffering from this autoimmune disease. Then he decided, I must try to come out of it. He told the doctor, I don't want to take any tranquilizers and no painkillers. Slowly you decrease my dose, slowly. He decided upon 3 or 4 principles, and he arrived that it is very important for me to have love, faith, hope, and laughter. He arrived at 4 principles: love, faith, hope, and laughter. He had lots of love for his family, for God as well. He had faith. He had faith in God, he had faith in the doctor, he had faith in everybody who was associated with him. He also had hope. His hope was sky high. Now laughter, he was not able to laugh. So some of his friends, they came up to him and they gave him some wonderful videos, Marx Brothers, Charlie Chaplin, these small videos. And then, Norman Cousins would tell the nurse that you play the video. And the nurse would give a 10-minute dose of laughter. 10-minute dose of laughter. And that laughter should be belly laughter, not superficial laughter, not trigger laughter. People have different types of laughter, but that is their own innate way of laughing. But belly laughter, so that means that laughter should come from your belly. Your muscles should expand, or whatever it is. And belly laughter, 10 minutes of belly laughter. The surprising thing was that Norman Cousins was not able to sleep without tranquilizers. He was not able to overcome pain without painkillers. But 10 minutes of belly laughter, and he used to sleep soundly like a baby for 2 hours. 2 hours. Then again, obviously he would wake up. Again, 10-minute dose of laughter, Tarak Mehta or whatever. So laughter is very important. See, we have lost the art of laughing. You go home, you're stiff. Your family thinks that, where have you come from? We have lost the art of laughing. We are not generous enough to enjoy our life. Many times we visit, our devotees' home. They have a nice lawn, they have a nice swing. They even have a gym, And obviously people who are well off, only they can afford these things. And they show all these things to us. But they don't have the time even to sit on the swing in the evening with their family members. Just imagine. We are not able to enjoy our lives. in spite of working so hard. At least see the color of the flowers that you have in your garden. Smell the fragrance that the flowers emit in your garden. Life is so fast. We have made our lives so congested. Don't fill up your mind. Leave some space in your mind to enjoy your life, to enjoy yourself, to spend time with God and with spiritual matters.